Sorry to say, I like to have sex. Do you like it? Don't lie.
Of course, yeah.
Who doesn't like it? Here's the issue, because you talk about 72 virgins.
No.
What if I want 100 virgins?
I mean,
In your Jannah, in your heaven, I wouldn't even get one, maybe. What kind of place is that? I don't want to go there. I'll stay here, mate.
that's the thing, though.
I'll stay here, I'll go to my house, I'll have more fun than your Jannah.
I mean, like.
If that is the case, and they're inextricably linked, then is there not four wills to the Trinity? If Jesus,
has one will, there's one will in the Trinity.
You've just said that Jesus has two wills.
Yeah, but the will of the divine side is the will of the Trinity. That's the Trinity's one will. That's the divine side has that one will.
So is the human side irrelevant?
In what sense?
In the construction of the personhood of Jesus Christ?
Well, relevant. I mean, before he became unified to that human nature, it was relevant. That's relevant now because now they're unified. I don't know what you mean by irrelevant. Okay. Like he can exist without it. Yeah, if you mean by that.
If Jesus Christ became unified with a human nature, then the fundamental nature of the Trinity, which is that you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, that must have changed. If the Son now has two different natures.
Okay, I get your point now, yeah. So again, I think you're confusing, like, you think of it as a mixture, remember, it's a union. They don't intermingle with each other. They're distinct from one another, yeah, but they're unified into one single.
But the figure of Jesus Christ is part of the Trinity.
His divine nature is part of the Trinity, yeah, not his human nature.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, if the divine nature is part of the Trinity, Jesus is part of the Trinity.
Yeah.
Is there a connection between the divine nature of Jesus Christ and the human nature of Jesus Christ?
There is, but I feel like...
What is that connection?
It's more a union, like they're
right,
together.
Right. So now they're I understand they're not mixed, but now they're inextricably linked.
Yes.
Right. So so the fundamental nature of what it means to be Jesus Christ has changed post-incarnation.
What it means to be the Son.
Yeah.
No, not really. Again.
So there was no difference. There's no change.
No, there's no change actually. No, because remember it's a union. So basically, it's kind of like
Okay.
He along his divine nature, like his divine self, right? He had a human nature attached to it now. That was a connection to him. But like,
so is that attachment a change or is that not a change?
Oh no, we don't consider that a change. No.
So what is it then?
It's a union. We call it a union. That's what it is.
Okay, and is that union? Is that indicative?
And less
fair enough.
Right?
Yeah,
powers, right? You could change like that guy in X-Men that changes.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
It all changes, right? But
fine.
not necessarily the same way.
Fine.
So you can use the word change.
Yeah, fine. Let's be more
specific. Not in the X-Men way.
Fair enough. That's good. So now you're being more specific. Like, what do you mean by change?
Yeah. No, so, philosophers now. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a change in the who-ness of Jesus Christ?
No, actually, still one who.
Okay, so when Jesus Christ, if you pointed at the human Jesus as he was alive, being crucified on the cross, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, yeah? God, God, why have you forsaken me? Would I be pointing at Jesus or would I be pointing at someone else?
You'd be pointing at a person.
And would I be pointing at Jesus Christ or someone else?
Well, there is no someone else. There's only one person there. So you'd be pointing at Jesus Christ.
So I would be pointing at Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
So if that Jesus Christ that I'm pointing at, if I had pointed to... So this Jesus Christ is now part of the divine nature, is in union with the divine nature of Jesus Christ. Yeah. However, he wasn't part of that divine nature in the past.
No, he wasn't. It didn't exist.
Okay, so what would you call the fact that if I were to point at the human being of Jesus Christ, at one point I would be pointing at Jesus Christ, and that if I didn't in the past, I would not be pointing at Jesus Christ. What would you call that kind of thing?
No. But remember, there's only one person. He didn't become a new person, a different person.
I understand, but you've said that he's taken a human form, right?
So when you say Jesus, right, that's the who there. That's the person. That's the hypostasis.
Yeah.
So before and after, it still be Jesus. It still be the same person. Still be
the human Jesus. Yeah. Is that part of the who-ness of Jesus Christ?
No. Remember, that's nature. That's the whatness.
No, the human. If I were to point,
it's the word.
But when I say if I say the who-ness here, I'm talking about if I point at him. If I point at Jesus Christ, but whilst he's being crucified on the cross, according to you, we don't believe. We say crucified on the cross. Am I pointing at a person?
Yes, you are.
Yes. And who am I pointing at?
The Word, Son of God.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that Jesus Christ, what age was he when he was being crucified?
There's lots of debates. Let's say
No problem. Whatever you say. 33. Yeah. So 34 years before that, if I were to point at that cross or anywhere in the world, I would not be pointing at the human Jesus Christ because he would not be born. Correct?
He wasn't called Jesus Christ yet, but he would still be the Word. Still be the same.
No, but the human Jesus Christ was not born 34 years before that in the moment.
I mean, I think of it this way, like, let's say you go to work, right? You wear a policeman costume, right? And I say you're a policeman, right? But earlier you was a policeman. Does that mean you changed, or just like?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, change in that sense. In that sense, yeah, I agree. In that sense, yeah.
Okay.
But you're not changed as in like you become a different person. Or
I'm saying that 33 years before, 35 years. Let's go. 50 years before the alleged crucifixion. Was the human Jesus Christ on the earth or not?
No, he was not.
Okay. So 50 years before the crucifixion, he wasn't on the earth.
No.
Then he became on the earth.
Yeah.
What do you call this before and after? What do you call it?
Incarnation.
Incarnation. And what does the incarnation signify? Was there a turning point? Did it signify some turning point or not?
It signified the union between a created human nature to the divine nature, and it was expressed in the one hypostasis of Christ.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
And that change that took place before and after.
It wasn't a fundamental change, it wasn't an eternal change, it wasn't a nature change. More so like this more so like an expression.
Compositional change.
Yeah, compositional change, yeah. Like
Oh, fantastic.
No,
okay. That's all. Yeah.
No, we get into like kind of early church Christology, but to make it simple, expression. We can express differently.
Well, it's more.
Early expressed solely by divine nature. After the incarnation, it can be expressed through a human and divine nature.
It's not just expression.
Yeah.
Because if I were to point at the Jesus Christ, 35 years after that point, or when he was on the cross, say, if I were to point at him, I'd be pointing at, if I say, who's that? Would that be an unintelligible proposition? If there was someone on the cross, I'd say, who's that?
I mean,
and
the
if,
word of God, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, great. So you would answer it.
Yeah.
Good. So the who-ness of Jesus can be expressed in a different way.
Define who-ness. When you say who, right, you're talking about the person or the nature? Because the person didn't change. The person was same before and after.
That's what I'm saying.
What changed?
What I'm saying here is that... No. I'm talking about the person. I am actually talking about...
Same. Before we just call...
Well, here's what I'm saying. That's why I'm debating with you right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that if I were to say, if the Jesus Christ was there, and I were to point at him and I say, who's that?
Yeah.
Or someone said, who's that? And he pointed at him and he was alive walking on the earth. I'm saying, is that an unintelligible question or is it an intelligible question?
Intelligible question, yeah.
It's an intelligible question.
Yeah.
And can it be answered?
Yeah.
Yes. Now, would that answer be the same when he was alive versus before he was born, or would it be different?
I guess like if I met Jesus Christ in the Old Testament, right, as like a figure in like into the laws, right?
Do you understand my question?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, let me put it in a different way for you. Jesus, give me a second. Jesus Christ walking about in the earth, yeah. The human nature of Jesus Christ is being expressed.
Yeah.
You'd accept that's the human nature, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone at his time points at him and says, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
That's an intelligible question.
Yeah.
Okay. And if someone replies to that question, that's Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
35 years before that, so before he was born, that question, who's that, would be unintelligible because there would be nothing to point at, correct or not?
What do you mean nothing to point at?
There's no human manifestation of Jesus Christ 35 years before the crucifixion.
I mean, you'd be pointing at God then, just be pointing at...
No, you wouldn't be pointing at anybody.
He exists, doesn't he exist?
No, now you're confusing yourself. Because if I said to you, look, just let's be fair and real, right?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ walked the earth.
I mean, no, you said he would, nothing there. What do you mean by
Listen.
He couldn't exist before he was born?
Jesus Christ walked the earth.
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. If he was walking around in Bethlehem, in Jerusalem, wherever he walked, ascending, coming down, honeycomb, broiled fish, on the cross where you believe, whatever. Someone said to him, who's that? You were there. Let's pretend we take you in a time machine.
Yeah, Jesus over there, yeah.
You say, who's that? First of all, does that question make sense?
Of course, yeah.
Yes, it does make sense. Now, if someone replied, that's Jesus Christ, would that be the correct answer?
Yes,
yes, it would be the correct answer.
Yeah.
Now, 50 years before that point, where Jesus was not born in the stable, yeah, and the three wise men didn't come to him and all that stuff. Before that situation happened, according to you, if someone were to point anywhere on the earth, or in the universe in fact, and try and find this Jesus Christ, they would not be able to find him.
No, they wouldn't.
Right, so the question, who's that? If they were to point anywhere in the universe, they would not be able to, they would be unintelligible. Correct?
Yeah.
All right, so now we have a difference in who-ness before and after the birth of Jesus Christ.
Are you sure there's a difference in who-ness or more so
Yes,
like,
because we've just explained how it's a difference in who-ness. Because before his birth, you could point at him and say, that's Jesus. After his birth you could do that. Before his birth, you couldn't do that. So of course there's a difference.
Because it wasn't incarnate yet, it wasn't incarnate, that's why.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the point is that I'm saying the doctrine of the incarnation has brought about a logical fallacy, a contradiction which cannot be reconciled by the human mind.
Because before he was incarnate, I couldn't find him anywhere. How does that lead to a logical?
I'm saying that the hypostatic union, or the doctrine of the incarnation, which many church fathers base on the first chapter and the first verse of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and so on. And the Word became flesh. Okay, listen. So the doctrine of the incarnation and the idea of the hypostatic union, one must admit that there is a fundamental change, not just in the expression of God's attributes, but in the who-ness of God himself. Or in fact, let me put it in this way, because I'm using the word God, but I shouldn't be using the word Jesus. Well, of course, you'd be using it interchangeably. I say, look, Jesus Christ, before and after the hypostatic union, were two different. You could express the who-ness in two different ways. So if I were to point, there is nothing. No, I'm saying who. I'm saying
Define who.
Okay.
Who? Person?
Yes, person. What the difference between who and what in the English language or any language?
Well,
yeah.
I'm using it more in the traditional sense.
Okay. Well, fine. In the English language, any language, what is inanimate?
Yeah, you see.
Okay, and who is animate or personal, right? So we don't say what is that and point at a human being, unless you want to become racist.
Or rude.
Or rude. We don't say this.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You understand? So, if I'm saying now,
but
when we look at Jesus Christ, the human, yes, which you agree has a human side. Yeah. When he was according to you, he's on the cross. Yeah, he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, God, God, why have you forsaken me? If someone points and says, who's that? That question will be intelligible propositionally. But if before that time...
It'll make sense to this question.
Yes, the question makes sense. That's what I'm saying right now. The question makes sense.
Can you now say, where is God? Can you say that right now? Is that a simple question?
Where is God is not the same as who is God. As that's what we're in two different things. You're not understanding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where is God is different to who is God.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm saying to you that your problem is not in where is Jesus. Your problem is who is Jesus.
Oh, same who before and after.
What I'm saying is that before the hypostatic union, your answer to the question of who is Jesus has fundamentally changed. And if So before the hypostatic union, before the incarnation, you must maintain that the question who is Jesus has two different answers. Before, you're saying that it was just the divine essence. After, it's the divine essence and the human essence.
Okay.
Correct or incorrect? Correct. So now we're in a problem. But now your God has changed. Now it's a problem now. Because your God has now a human element, has anthropomorphized, has humanized. Do you understand the problem here? So, and the contradiction lies in the following. How can God change on a level which causes impossibility? It's not just any level. It's the fact that God is changing and he has two sets of attributes which are contradictory with one another. On the one hand, he's all powerful. On the other hand, he's limited. He can be whipped and spat at and, go to the toilet and don't know what the fig trees and all that. So it doesn't make sense. That's why it's an affront to common sense. That's why it's obscene to the logical process.
Okay, yeah.
I must say this.
I'm going to get your point now, yeah. So, go back to the whole who-ness, right? The who-ness before and after changed, right?
Yes.
Turn back. The who-ness before and after was the same. The same who before.
No, it wasn't the same.
Who after, yeah.
No, it wasn't the same. As I said to you before, now before and after the hypostatic union, the incarnation, whatever. if you're saying that there was a union between the two natures of Jesus Christ, the human nature and the divine nature, before Jesus, before the Word became flesh, okay, before the hypostatic, before anything you want, you cannot maintain that God had or Jesus had both those natures. So he has a new nature now, new, N-E-W, which means it wasn't there before. Which means now, if I were to point out Jesus, say, who's Jesus? Jesus, the divine one, do you want? Or do you want the human one? We have two Jesus now.
Oh, no, remember. The human nature did not instantiate.
Two natures.
The human nature did not instantiate all, yeah?
Of course it did. Instantiate, it became flesh. It was there in the human walking around.
It
didn't instantiate at all. Is that what you're saying?
It's actually, but not as a hypostasis. It didn't form another hypostasis, rather. It's simply expressing the person of Jesus Christ, the person of the Word of God.
The human expression was manifest for all to see on the cross. Otherwise, the cross means nothing. Otherwise, the crucifixion means nothing. Otherwise, it's all fiction. So you can't say it didn't instantiate at all. Of course it did, because you believe in the doctrine of the ascension. You believe in the doctrine of the crucifixion. You believe in the doctrine of the resurrection. So when that was happening and people could see it according to you, was that a physical instantiation or was that not a physical instantiation?
So when I say instantiation, right, what I mean though, so for us, right, the abstract would be the nature, right, and the concrete would be the person hypostasis there. It didn't concretize into an actual hypostasis as a person to Christ. There's still one person there, but now he just had another expression now. He had a human flesh expression and a divine expression alongside each other. You're
using the word expression to try and run away from the fact that the who-ness of God, according to you, the who-ness of Jesus Christ, fundamentally. So look, if Jesus Christ is God, do you believe he's God?
Of course, yeah.
Yes. Jesus is God. Yes.
Yeah.
And before and after this Jesus God, he now has a new nature, a human nature, which he didn't have before. So your God changed, correct?
And he changed in the X-Men sense.
Whatever.
Changed in the sense of
he changed in who-ness. He changed now when I say who.
One who, not two.
Are you sure about that?
It's one who, one who.
Okay, so one who,
Yeah, one who.
Okay, you said Jesus Christ has two wills.
Yes.
Okay, two wills, and he has two natures, correct?
Yeah.
He has what? The human nature?
The divine nature.
And he has the divine nature.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is the human nature the same as the divine nature?
No.
Great. So now Jesus has a human nature, and if I were to point at it, it's intelligible for me to ask, who is that? And for someone to answer, it's Jesus Christ.
Point at the nature.
Pardon?
Point at the nature, do you say? Point at the nature.
Not at the nature, because that's a Neoplatonic thing. I'm talking about the actual Jesus. Is that a manifestation of Jesus? The nature of, the person of Jesus.
Yeah.
If I were to look at when Jesus Christ in the book of Matthew is walking to the fig tree and he's saying, he doesn't know if he's cursing the fig tree because it's out of season. Yeah? You know this. You know this first.
Yeah. Fig tree.
You know about that, yeah? Okay, if Jesus now is looking at the fig tree because it's out of season, that Jesus, if I were to point and say, is that Jesus? Would you say yes?
Yeah.
Okay, is that human Jesus?
Well, it's Jesus.
Is that the human Jesus? Is that representation of the human nature of Jesus or the divine nature?
So exactly. We don't talk about that basically. We don't make that distinction like
you don't make
that what you're getting into there is just coming to historianism. We're not historians. Historians would make that kind of claim.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're describing historianism. We're describing
no, I'm not describing historianism. I'm asking you, okay? In your understanding of the hypostatic unity, in your understanding of the incarnation, in your understanding of the Trinity and Christological process, I'm asking a question. If I were to point at that Jesus, who am I pointing at?
Jesus, the person Jesus. The person.
Beautiful.
Like if I point at you, I'm pointing at human nature or I'm Mohammed Hijab. If I point at you, I'm pointing at your human nature or Mohammed Hijab.
I'm saying that your point, there's only...
Same logic,
no, it's not the same logic. I am saying there's no contradiction between the human nature and Mohammed Hijab. There's only the human nature with Mohammed Hijab.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I know some people think I'm a better human. That's a different situation, different story. That's something. But what I'm saying is that there is no conflict of... What we're saying is that your human nature construct, there's a conflict, direct conflict with the divine nature. You can't be all powerful and not all powerful at the same time. Do you understand this point?
It depends. Not in the same way, but remember, they're essentially differently. So like, So of course we agree that God can't die, right? God can't die, right? In his divine.
Do you believe
nature,
Jesus is one person or two people?
Right? Of course, one person.
One person.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's excellent. This whole time.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ is one person.
Yeah.
Yet, he has two natures which have contradictory attributes. Do you accept this proposition?
Yeah, sure.
Beautiful. That's all I wanted you. Live with that, please. Live with that, because that's what's going to take you to the hellfire. I'm being honest with you. Because the fact that you can, that will take you to the hellfire.
I use the word paradoxical.
No, it's not paradoxical. Yeah. You've said it yourself. You have just now challenged logic fully. You've said F you to logic. You put the middle finger to logic. If I use the same reasoning that you've just used with theology in architecture or engineering or anything else, nothing. If I said to you, listen, go on a plane. Do you see that plane there? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Can you see it's got that flashing red light? Now, before you go on that plane, I'm going to use your same principles of enduring contradictions in the geometric process. Let's endure it. So when now the architects are putting together, let me just finish. When the architects are putting together the engine for the plane, they'll use contradictory calculations, yeah, and so on. They don't mind that. They're okay with that. Okay, get on that plane. Let's see what it does with you. And if you fly the plane and then it's just there's a crash straight away, I'm going to say you're a fool. We've already told you that this is a death trap, and you've gone into it.
I think
no, I'm being serious. Bro, honestly, with all due respect, you've accepted. Just allow me. Let me just finish the train of thought. All I want us to do is be fair and honest, Aki. Yeah, you're a good man. I like you.
You don't know me.
No, but you're coming across as respectful.
Thank you.
Okay, and I accept that. But I want you to now realize something. If you accept this for yourself, yeah, that you can have a person who you consider to be God with two contradictory set of attributes.
Don't make it again.
You said that on the camera, bro. Like
I know, but like
yeah.
I had implied a category distinction though.
What do you mean?
I mean, like you're making it as though there's one category there, and that one category is this and that.
No, it's not category error. Why?
Thing is though, because there's a category distinction though. There's distinction of categories there. What? There's the human nature and the divine nature.
I know I understand that. But what I'm saying is that those two are incompatible. I'm saying you've said it yourself. You said that he got the human side and he's got the godly side. Yeah. I'm saying that will take you to hell. That's a ticket to the hellfire. Because of all due respect, and this is...
I mean, I believe you're going to hell too. You're going to go to hell too.
No, okay. No problem. I'm saying to you, that is a ticket to the hellfire. Because now God has made it easy for you. That's why the Quran offers the most simple argumentation ever.
Go ahead.
Him and his mum used to eat food. Showing you the human limitation. All I need to show you is that these people cannot be God because they have human limitations. You've accepted that. Okay, there is a contradiction between the human limitation and the godly attribute. Now that you've accepted that and you're living with that, you want to die with that, yeah? You want to accept that a human being, a Middle Easterner like me, yeah, is your God that you bow down to, yeah, with human limitation, you bow down to that, then okay, that's where I would say to you, that's fine. You live with that, you die with that. As for me, I personally believe that there is a God with no attributes similar to human beings in the sense of limitation. No limitation to a God ever.
Do you really have got a shin and a head?
No. Well, no. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's just fine. We don't believe in a shin like the human shin, anything like that. Anything which has wording like... Pardon? The Atharis do not believe that the shin is like the human shin or who. That's all.
You be Athari then?
That is the view of the Atharis, yeah.
Is that your view?
Yeah. Yeah. So
no, but I remember in your debate with David Wood, though, you mentioned how David was quoting these verses, right, about God having these body parts, right? You said that's stupid, right? But there is in your debate with David Wood, right, you mentioned when he quoted verses saying that God has body parts, right? You said to him, I can't
remember what I said. Get a transcript. But what I'm telling you right now is that the view of all of the Sunni Muslims. Whether they're Athari or whether they consider Ash'ari or Maturidi or whatever, no one believes that God has a human body parts.
Even Ibn Taymiyyah?
Even Ibn Taymiyyah himself, he wrote that in his books very clearly. It's a misconception. Even Western academia says this, bro. All you have to do is read John Hoover. Even if you read Wa' al-Halaq, Christian, yeah? Even if you read, John Hoover, he's an atheist for all I know, yeah? And so on. These individuals who write about him, they acknowledge that about him. So it's a misconception. What I'm saying to you now is clear. We do not believe in a God with limitations like that. I feel confident that if I worship such a God with no limitation, that is all powerful, all wise, all knowledgeable, that if I worship him, that he will do good by me. I don't worship a human being, I don't worship an animal, I don't worship, because in my view, if I can beat the God, if I can beat him, or I can burn him, or he's susceptible to destructibility or generatability, I don't think that's a God. Anything susceptible to generatability or destructibility is not a God.
Do you know what Jesus to Peter?
Pardon?
After Jesus cut the ear of the God off, right? Yeah. What did you say?
Sorry?
When Peter cut the ear of the God, trying to capture Jesus, right? What did Jesus say to Peter?
Go ahead.
If I wanted to, I send all my angels right and save me.
Okay.
He was in full control. If he wanted you to be saved, he would have been saved.
Yeah,
he
well,
chose to. It's full on willingness.
he also said, I by my own will can do nothing. I by the finger of God. I by the finger of God cast out devils. I by the Spirit of God. The Father is greater than I.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, you know these verses, right?
No. Think about a second. Do you believe that though? When you said I do nothing more on the code, only what the Father doing. Do you believe this?
Do I believe what? I don't believe. Look,
No. When you said
question.
I can do nothing of my own accord,
Yeah.
only what the Father doing. Do you believe that?
That only the God can do it
No,
on.
Jesus says, I can do nothing of my own accord. Yeah.
I can of myself do nothing, yeah.
Only what the Father doing.
Say again?
Only what the Father doing. Only what the Father doing. Do you believe this?
Only what I see the Father doing.
Do you know this verse?
No. I mean, if you're asking me if I believe in it, right?
I mean, like.
I don't believe that what is. Let me answer your question.
If you use the Bible against me, then
I'm
use
not.
all of it.
No. Why should I?
Well, why use the old one? Why use the old?
No, because.
Why quote like,
what is the Bible?
I'm going to show you something else.
What is the Bible?
Huh?
What's the Bible?
A collection of books.
Which ones?
The 72 books, 72 books.
72 books,
Yeah.
according to whom?
The Catholic Church.
Okay, what about Protestants?
They're not part of the Church of Christ.
How many books are in their canon?
66.
66.
Yeah.
What happened to those 5 or 6 books?
More than that.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
6 books, yeah?
Oh, that's the thing though. So Protestants, they have no authority to the canon. We do.
Oh, okay,
but
great.
For them, it's just like
66.
what they feel like.
So what happened to those 6? Do you believe that those 6 books are part of the canon and those Protestants don't believe in that?
Yeah.
Excellent. So who got to decide what's in the canon and what's not in the canon?
The Church of Christ, the church.
Which church? Which meeting?
The one that.
Which council?
So the canon was closed at Florence for the year, but I think it's in the 15th century. But Council of Florence, they canon the Bible.
The New Testament canon was decided well before that. Who decided what council was it?
I don't think so. I think Carthage, maybe. Carthage, I think.
There was no council. So, how the New Testament was decided, the stronger opinion is that it was Athanasius, okay? In the 4th century.
His canon isn't fully the same as ours. So
it was Athanasius.
It can't be him because he's.
It can't be him.
Exactly
no problem. You can read J and D Kelly's Early Church Fathers.
I read him, yeah.
All right, read him again and with greater attention this time. What I'm saying is that the stronger opinion is that Athanasius is the one who decided upon the canon. There was no council.
J&D couldn't say that. J&D couldn't say that.
There was no.
I read him. He didn't say that. He said Athanasius decided.
There was no council, and I would challenge you to find one. There was no council that decided on the canon of the New Testament.
Florence.
There was no council that decided upon the canon of the New Testament. Are you listening to me or not?
Yeah.
I'm saying that is well known. Okay. Okay, what is the council that decided on the canon of the New Testament?
There was no council in Carthage in the 5th century. Then there was one in the...
What's the name of the council?
Council of Carthage.
And what did they do in that council?
They determined the ultimate canon, but it was only a local...
Wait, hold on. So you're telling me that the canon was not determined before the 5th century?
No, it wasn't, no.
It was the 27 books of the New Testament were determined way before that, into the 4th century. Yes. So the idea was that you had the New Testament canon before the 5th century in Carthage. Clearly, yeah? And it was not decided by a canon.
Right? Based off Athanasius.
Athanasius is the one who decided.
Yeah. I mean...
who gave him the authority?
I mean, he didn't... All I can say is that he didn't...
Who gave him the authority, though?
He didn't define it.
So who defined it, then?
The church as a whole.
The church fathers in the first 300 years...
The church.
No, I'm asking a question.
It's magisterium.
In the first 300 to 400 years of Christianity...
Yeah?
In the first 300 to 400 years of Christianity, was there a consensus among church fathers of what the New Testament constituted of?
For the most part, yeah. For the most part, if you look at the macro
Okay.
things like that.
So why is it that you'll find that some church fathers quoted texts which we don't find in the New Testament corpus today, like the Didache, like the Apocrypha?
Yeah.
So why is it that you find that these texts are quoted by some church fathers?
We read the Apocrypha. Those actually most of the Apocrypha.
I know you read this. They're not canonized as part of the New Testament. I'm asking.
The Old Testament. Apocrypha is Old Testament.
No, I'm talking about the Didache.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, my question is now: the Didache is the first 100 years of Christianity.
Yeah.
Why is that not part of the canon?
Well, that's because how you kind of decided.
How comes we find that in the 3rd century, the 4th century, that some church fathers disputed whether or not the book of Revelation should be part of the canon?
Yeah, because it's tradition. Tradition.
Pardon?
Tradition.
How could there be dispute on an entire book between church fathers whether it should be in the canon or not?
Tradition, that's why, tradition, because they have different tradition, right? And some churches did use certain books, others didn't. I mean, that's what's
But that just contradicted what you said before. You said that all the church fathers, there was consensus among what constituted the New Testament among the church
No,
fathers.
so say for the most part.
But there's no consensus then. It's no most part and consensus. Consensus means all of them agree.
Not necessarily. Like, okay, let's
No, I'm using it in that sense. In that strict, there was unanimity. There was everyone agrees. I'm not talking about the majority.
100 people, yeah, 90 of them agree on something, 1% disagrees. Can you say because I was disagree, there's no more
I'm using it in that sense.
Okay, no.
Great. So there was no consensus that between the early church fathers of what the New Testament comprised of.
Yeah.
Therefore, in your understanding, because the question you asked me is how could you use part of the Bible and not part of the Bible? The Bible itself is ill-defined. The Bible itself, there's no consensus of what its constitutes are.
For us, we have a definition. As Catholics, we have a definition. The church defines the canon. But as personally, don't we have a canon?
So I have a question for you then, as a Catholic, since you're a Catholic.
Yes.
My question as a Catholic to you is then, from whence did the church itself gain its authority? Hold on, let me finish the question. Did the church get the authority from the books, or did the books get the authority from the church?
Good question. So the way they just got the first thing from the Christ himself. When Christ is the Peter, you are the rock, and only you.
Yeah, but that's in a book.
Yeah. But that's a historical event. It's a historical event. It's a real
Hold
event.
on, you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I understand the apostolic tradition of the church, the whole argument of the Roman Catholics and the Eastern Orthodox, by the way, because they have a similar kind of reverence for tradition, and they have a similar reverence for figures. Obviously, for you, okay, it's the Pope himself, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I understand the argument. But my question was this, because what you're citing about Peter is in the New Testament.
Yeah.
So my question is, did the church get its authority from the New Testament, or did the New Testament get its authority from the church?
So that's a false dichotomy. I want to say that it's false dichotomy.
No, it's one or the other. In fact, no, it's not a false dichotomy. In fact, it will be circular reasoning to say that the church got its authority from the books. Authority from the church. That would be circular reasoning.
No, because we also grounded in a historical event, though.
No, but that historical event was only known from the books.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
great. So you're sorry.
Word of mouth or written form, so it can even be.
If you're saying that you got your authority from a written historical event, that written historical event was in the books.
Word of mouth. There's also word of mouth as well.
Word of mouth is still historical.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, but by the way, just to be fair, apostolic arguments are made from direct references to the New Testament, correct? With the incident of Peter, correct?
I mean, like even the Bible itself is justified through that tradition, though. Because how do we know that Peter or Matthew wrote?
How do we know it? How do we know it?
The church fathers, they told us.
Not the church fathers, but it says it in the New Testament itself, correct?
Yeah.
Great.
But even
so this is where your problem lies.
Yeah.
You have an issue of authority here. That's why in most Christian seminaries or whatever, they say the three things that make Christianity are the tradition, the scripture, and reason, right? Correct?
Church.
Yeah, well, that's a tradition. Yeah, fine. Okay, you can say that's a tradition or not.
Yeah.
Scriptures, the tradition, which is the test, what do you call it? The church fathers and so on, and apostolic tradition and precedents and all that kind of thing, and also reason, which you've thrown out the window. But no problem with that. Let's throw reason out the window and let's stick with the other two, since we already dealt with the reason bit, and the reason is not in your favor. No, you have. You've accepted that it's a contradiction between. You have accepted it.
Make a category error.
You said that, but you don't care about errors in logic, because you said that Jesus Christ is both fully human and fully.
When I said that, though,
You said there's a contradiction. That was the word you used.
So yeah, so I mean, even then when I said that, right, I mentioned more so like, in my mind, I had a category.
I understand. I understand. Okay.
That's why I said that.
No, but we've moved on to another argument now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that there's another contradiction you have to deal with.
Yeah.
So now I'm telling you what contradictions you have to endure. Contradiction number one, as a Christian, if you're happy to die as one, okay, no problem. The first contradiction you have to endure is that you have this person of Jesus Christ who is meant to know all but have limited knowledge at the same time. Be all powerful but not have powerful. One is the divine nature you're calling it. You can call it what you like, but there are two set of contradictory attributes. You said it on camera. You said it. These are contradictory. That's fine.
Yeah,
so you have to endure those contradictions. No problem. Let's put that to the side.
But secondly, it's also paradoxical. But the thing, those contradictions create a paradox, not necessarily a kind of contradiction. The cause of paradox.
You're using language, syntax to try and escape the reality. All right.
No,
paradox.
No, paradox is a very precise word. Do you not agree? Paradox is a very precise word. I don't think it's.
Why is that paradox and not? Are you saying that first of all? Are you saying a paradox is always different to a contradiction? Because you can have a paradox which is a contradiction.
If it's a contradiction, there's no paradox.
I don't agree. Sometimes you can have a paradox. There's a book written by Jim Khalil about logical paradoxes and stuff like that. What's it called? I don't know what it's called. But anyway, this a paradox can actually produce contradictory results. So this idea that you're trying to create, what you're doing now is you're trying to use language to escape the reality, yeah? It's very clear for me to see. You're in a cognitive dissonance state. You are uncomfortable at the fact that on the one hand, you realize that you can't actually reconcile these themes, but on the other hand, you are emotionally connected to the religion of Christianity. I'm saying that there's a way to free yourself from this. And I honestly want the best for you, bro. I know I was a bit rough with you before that, and I apologize. I apologize. At the same time, I want to say to you, look, I was telling you about the hellfire, but there's also Jannah, heaven. I'm saying that virgins, all that kind of stuff, which I'm sure you're interested in women. Are you interested in women or men?
Yeah, women. So.
You're interested in women, and do you have a sexual urge, or do you have libido or no libido?
I have very high libido.
Okay, fine. So, do you find sexual practices enjoyable or not?
I'm a human being, yeah.
Oh, great. So then, why are you making fun of something which you find enjoyable? It's like saying, well, let's mock the fact that human beings need to eat as well. Of course, we have to have sex. We enjoy it. Every human being enjoys it.
I mean, you do that. You make fun of Jesus because you have to go to the toilet.
I don't make fun of him. I would never make fun of Jesus Christ. I'm not allowed to make it.
But the idea that God is doing these things.
No, I'm saying is I'm not making fun. I'm saying that you can't have a God that goes to the toilet, or that God that's born out of a mother's womb.
Why?
Because of the thing I just told you. If God is all powerful, if God is beginningless, you can't be beginningless and have a beginning at the same time. This is a contradiction you're going to have to endure.
Only if it's in the same way.
It's fine. But I'm saying you can go to heaven, which you believe in heaven, right?
Of course, yeah.
And you believe that you can get whatever you want in heaven, right?
Well...
What kind of heaven would it be if I can't get what I want?
I mean, like...
What kind of heaven would it be, bro? Listen, I know you were just talking about the virgins, but what kind of heaven would it be if I can get place? No, imagine if my desires, look, imagine this. Imagine, look, I ask you, imagine if I want to have, sorry to say, Jan, I'm sorry I just say it. No, I understand. Imagine I enjoy to eat meat and I enjoy to eat food and potatoes and that. You enjoy potatoes? I enjoy potatoes, yeah? I like gravy and potato and rice and meat. I like spending time with the children. You like spending time with children sometimes?
Yes.
Yes, I do. You imagine, you listen to me, yeah? I like to spend time with sorry to say, I like to have sex. Do you like it? Don't lie.
Of course, yeah.
Who doesn't like it? Men like it, women like it.
You're married,
so, yeah, of course. I mean, otherwise, right?
One wife or more than one?
That's a separate discussion for a separate... I'm only kidding. But what I'm saying is this, is that imagine now, if I enjoy these things, these are carnal desires. I want to enjoy myself. Yeah. I want to go to a place where there's all enjoyment, all happy, but I can't even get in that place what I was getting down here. It's a downgrade then. What kind of heaven is that? I don't want to go there. I'll stay here. I'll stay here and enjoy myself.
Okay, yeah.
No, so this idea of a virgin and stuff like that, I personally, I mean, I don't mind. You know, which means that she's, for me, the woman is for me, she has not had any sexual intercourse with other men in the past. In this dunya, I don't care, to be honest, whether she did or she didn't. But anyway, look, yeah, well, maybe me and you have similar tastes. You like the potatoes, you like the rice. Maybe, you know, what country are you from?
Ethnically Congolese.
Very beautiful country, you know.
You're different.
That's correct. You know a lot about me already.
Marhaban
Bik, you know. Thank you. Now, I'm saying to you is that the first, so this thing about, you know, virgins, I don't even know why people use it as an argument. I think it's an argument again. The same person, sorry to say, let me just close it, let's close the lid on this, yeah? The same people that are talking about, oh, in Islam, you guys believe in the virgins and all this, yeah? He's going home and watching pornographies. And he's getting, I'm not saying you do, because it's not allowed in Catholicism. Even masturbation is not allowed, correct?
Yeah.
Because you're not even allowed to, which is the same as in Islam. For the most part, other opinions.
Mutual masturbation is like when you have sex with your wife.
Yeah, you believe that, you know, this, you're killing the children or something, you know, by doing it. No, whatever. What I'm saying is, the same people that you'd hear, oh, you believe in, I don't know how many virgins in heaven. They are using escorts. Sorry, they're using escorts. They're calling, oh, can you come to my hotel? I'll pay for your fare.
No, it's perfect. No,
it's hypocrisy. And by the way, and they're arguing legally to free up sexual liberation and this stuff. So why don't we just be honest and authentic about the human proclivity? We have a proclivity to sexual intercourse.
That's the issue, though. I think the issue
it's the issue because you talk about 72 virgins.
No.
What if I want 100 virgins?
I mean,
in your Jannah, in your heaven, I wouldn't even get one, maybe. What kind of place is that? I don't want to go. I'll stay here, mate.
That's the thing, though.
I'll stay here. I'll go to my house. I'll have more fun than your Jannah.
I mean, like, let's say someone in heaven here wants children to sleep with. Is that okay?
Say again?
Say someone in heaven here wants to have sleep with children. Is that okay?
Sleep with what?
Children.
No, because we wouldn't have desire to do things which are unethical.
I agree.
Great. But why is it unethical to be with a woman that you love and that she loves you?
Is it ethical to have more than 4 wives? Is it ethical to have more than 4 wives?
More than 4 wives?
Yeah.
It's not unethical. It's not unethical. It's not unethical to have more than 4 wives.
In your faith?
Yeah, I'm saying it's not unethical.
So God's
there's nothing intrinsically. Look, I'm answering your question.
Intrinsic.
There's a difference between There's a difference between intrinsically ethical / unethical versus it's ethical because the command says it. It's allowed. Yeah. So if I say, look, if I had 10 wives, just like David had 300 in your book, yeah, 300 wives and 700 concubines, yeah, he's going.
It's going ham.
No, okay, whatever. Or Abraham had 3, but whatever. I don't think there's anything intrinsically unethical about it. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I say that, look, I'm restricted because the Sharia says I'm only allowed to have 4, then the degree to which is unethical is only because I'm going that, yeah.
Are you saying there's the difference between good and bad, things that are intrinsically good and bad, and God's command? So God's command can be something that...
Yeah, that's my view.
That's not.
There are 2 views in Islam. There's the divine command theory, and these are like the 2 forks of the Euroflo's dilemma. Okay. You know Euroflo's like... Yeah. So for me, I actually take Aquinas' view on the matter.
Epic.
You see, which is the same as Ibn Taymiyyah's view, actually. And Ibn Qayyim's view, and Augustine's view. They all intimated this.
Ibn Taymiyyah, so you take it from us.
Possibly. I don't think I don't think he had read it, but it's not too bad. It's not. But he took it from... a lot of it was Neoplatonic anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
But Ibn Taymiyyah was against the Neoplatonic forms, whereas Augustine was for it. But anyway, this is a different story. In terms of... The view is that there's something which is good and bad out there. Goodness, for me, I take the Protestant position, is the manifestation of God's goodness onto something. And then if God's goodness is not in that thing, then that thing does not... So, yeah. So it's privation.
Augustine.
Which is Augustine's view. I'm saying I take that fork of my person. So if I believe in divine command theory, my answer to you would be that anything more than 4 would be unethical.
Okay.
But I don't take that view.
Really?
Anyway, going back to the point. There's nothing wrong, therefore. Yeah. There's nothing wrong, therefore. Like, so, this is the attempt. I'm giving you contradictions in who your God is. And then you come to me as a Muslim, and you say, okay, well, you got 72 virgins. I'm saying 72, I want 100, I want 200. There's no problem, there's no logical contradiction. I don't see a logical contradiction.
That's the issue is that, like, it seems like in Islam, heaven is all about pleasing man, but not heaven is all about pleasing God.
So
God is happy when you having sex with virgins and all these and drinking.
It's just the fact that men, according to the psychological measures of today, like for example, Baumeister and Cantonese of 2011, when they did a cross-sectional psychological study, the biggest of its kind, have found, and by the way, there was 3 or 4 women in that, they were saying that, which are the top researchers, that the male sex drive is stronger than the female sex drive. So that's what the psychological. You can write a paper and you can disagree all you like. But what you have to do in order to disagree is you have to write a paper, peer review it, and then challenge the results of the other psychological
Or
investigation.
find another study that contradicts that one.
Yeah, but I have not found, and in fact, they mentioned that in the study that there is no other study that contradicts that one. Elaine Hatfield, in 1989, yeah, when they went to the men in the campus. I'm not sure, have you heard this study? No. Very famous study. They repeated it from the 70s all the way to like basically the early 90s. And they asked men and women 3 questions. Would you go, like men would ask women, do you want to go out on a date with me? Do you want to come back to my apartment? And do you want to have sex with me? 3 questions. Now, I'm just gonna...
Men will say yes and women will be like,
okay,
no.
the third question. In the 1989 study, which now would not even go through the CUREC ethics committee, yeah? I'm saying that, what was the percentage of women that said, yeah, I want to have sex with you?
Women are stingy.
What do you think?
Women are stingy, so 80%.
0% of women. 0%. 0%. So when women came to men, when men came to women on the campus and whatever, and they were asking them, 0%. Let me just this study was actually somewhat longitudinal. I'm saying 0% of women said yes. 0. Guess how many percent of men? 75%. Now. 75%. Now what I'm saying is that there's a major disparity between the sexual proclivity, inclination, and the intensity of the male sex drive versus the female. So if the Quran caters for that by giving incentive to men which he doesn't give to women, that is because if he didn't do that, if the Quran did not do that, then there would be some kind of deficiency in the Quran. And the Quran says itself, أَلَا يَعْلَمُ مَنْ خَلَقَ وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. Does he not know what he created and he is the all such all aware? In fact, if the Quran had given similar sexual incentives to women as men, I would say that would be a cause of concern. That would be a cause. Considering what we know today of the male sex drive versus the female sex drive, the testosterone, according to all studies, scientific studies, not even psychological or sociological, females have 1/10 to 1/20th the amount of testosterone that women do. That men have, yeah? And of course, testosterone is inextricably linked to the libido, which is why when they asked the question of female sex drive, it goes up when the testosterone increases. If you increase testosterone in women, their sex drive increases as well. I'm not saying it's the only reason why their sex drive may go up, but I'm saying there's a difference here. And I think most people know it. I think you're playing the fool. So no, you are playing the fool. So I'm saying is, look,
nothing is wrong here to have sex and be a
there's nothing wrong with having sex in limits. But what I'm saying is that, what's the issue?
It seems like the focus right is on man's pleasure.
No, it's not. I totally disagree, bro. I totally disagree. Like, let me give you an example, Let me give you an example.
How does it honor God for me to have sex with all these women in heaven and like?
Sorry, what's again?
How does it please God here? Or
it's not about please. Look, sorry to say. Look, heaven is a reward. As a result of his mercy. Now, if I have worked all this time to reduce my sexual interactivity and to do this and do that and stick within the guidelines of God, he's saying, look, pardon?
You worked.
Sorry?
You worked.
Yeah, if I worked.
You did things
in
God's favor.
Yeah. So
we don't believe that in Christianity. We don't believe we can earn God's.
No, we're not saying we earned that. I'm going to say we earned it. If I did that, God will decide to put his compassion on me. He may decide to give me more than what I actually deserve by giving me all these rewards. And he does the same thing with women. No one's going to be left out. And in fact, this idea, look, there's verse in the Quran which subjugate males to females. I'll tell you how. In Jannah, for example, there's this boys, غِلْمَانٌ or wildanun. It's mentioned 2 different terms. That there'll be يَطُوفُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ غِلْمَانٌ or يَطُوفُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ وِلْدَانٌ. These boys that will be going around and serving people in Jannah, including women.
Would they sleep with them, the boys too?
Say again? No, but bro, no. I'm saying to you, you're making the same mistake. You're assuming that the incentive for a man is the same as the incentive for a woman.
No, that's the issue.
Well, you have an equality premise. We don't believe in equality in this regard. Good man. So what I'm saying to you, if you don't believe, so why are you asking if they're going to sleep with them? Do you think that women want to sleep with boys? Do you think that's an incentive for them? Do you think that women sleeping with young boys is an incentive? Do you think that's an incentive? Great. So now we understand. I'm saying that
for the woman, really.
Let me ask you a question. When you go, you know these studies that have been done on Tinder and on these dating apps, yeah? When you swipe right and swipe left and all this kind of things.
Very blackpilling, yeah, very blackpilling.
Why is it a fact that like 1 or 2% of women like what they see? And why? Why do you think that is?
Hegemony, I think it's called hegemony. Like women have a larger pool to choose from.
Yeah, mate, there's that, but there's also men are perverted, sexually perverted. They'll go on there because they want to find sex. Do you understand me? Whereas most women going on there to try and find partnership and pair bond. they have two separate.
Some men too.
Yeah, some women do it as well, and some men want that as well. I'm saying you're a good man, maybe you want that, you know. But we have to control ourselves as men in a way that women, you know, don't have to control themselves. Yeah. But what I'm saying, therefore, is this expectation that the Quran should have the same incentives and motivations for men and women is based on a faulty ideology, which is feminism. We don't accept it. The egalitarian premise that the sex drive of the man is the same as the sex drive. It's not the same. So
That's my issue.
what's your issue then? You don't have an issue with Jesus having contradictory set of attributes, which is a lot akin to believing a squared circle, but you have an issue having intercourse in heaven and having a good time.
No.
What's your problem, brother? And you were the same guy that you admitted on camera that your sex drive is high and you enjoy sex.
Yeah,
What kind of cognitive?
I admit that.
You admit that on camera candidly.
No, you put okay.
Yeah, so you enjoy the thing.
I mean, I'm human.
Let's go. Salah.
Brother.
Okay, I like meeting you. I'll
talk to you later, my friend.
I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun as well. السلام عليكم اخي ان شاء الله اشوفكم ان شاء الله اسمك كريم احمد هنصلي المغرب دلوقتي ان شاء الله السلام عليكم
You mind if I get a picture real fast?
Let's okay